right, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you very much for your patience. We are ready and willing to get into game number 2 of the ESEA Season 54 NA Open Playoffs Match 1 between Snaze and Astral wins. If you were unfortunate enough to miss a match number 1, map 1 was Train, picked by Snaze, where they started out on the T side, and after a rough start to said T side, they did end up losing it 8-13. Now looking to try and strike back on Astral Wind's pick of Ancient. It's an early hit here towards Donut, and Trick falls early to Bobo. Gooch leading the charge further into the site. Is he going to be able to find this player big box? Yes, he finds ACO. At the same time, Butter on a fast rotate here claims a trade kill onto the captain of Revival. Oh, and VPL finding Bulk over towards Cave, but Gooch coming up big. A second kill on the round. 2 players left to find. Gooch aimed over here towards Temple. It's the right place to be ready for, as Tysel is there ready and waiting. Mullen trying to take this fight over towards Elbow, but the player now aggressing towards him. Gooch with a limited HP does fall, and it's Mullen man with it all to do. He knows the bomb's planted for him, so he wants to try and play back Donut, but it's gonna be Butters sticking here on the defuse. It's a 10-second stick needed, and 10 seconds he is gonna be gifted. No kits on either of these players, but it won't matter as Astral wins strike the first round in off a 2 versus 2 situation, and Mullenman, good play from him there in the end, but not able to find that critical frag on the Tysel. 2K on the round for him, and 1-0 on the board for Astral wins. So now, Snaze, looks like they are choosing to buy up here on to the MAC 10s, as they want to try and fight and strike through early. They knew how crucial those 2 first rounds were for them on that T side of Train. They do not want a repeat of their T side here on Ancient. So choosing to take this into an early hit B, the nade doing monstrous damage, and Tysel's rifle gonna come through with even more. No trade frag found yet. Finally it comes through on the VPL. Tysel at 27 HP, and this bomb going to attempt the plant. At the same time, Butter, he's just gonna push out with the MP9. He finds one, has to reload. That gives Gooch time to come in and strike. Isn't aware that there's already a second player, but that nade will give it away. Tysel tries to find him against the pillar, but it's Gooch with it all to do. A 1 versus 4 necessary, and he's halfway done already. The bomb is locked down on this site, so no opportunity to go towards B, but does this slow play kind of fake it out that he might be trying something of that essence? Doesn't matter. Even as ACO tries to probe back over towards Shelf, it's going to be Hobo to find a critical frag onto that remaining player. And Snaze, it's got to be said, don't come out with the bomb plan in that one. Don't come out with the round win, but some great shots off Gooch to get them some money in the bank as they go into a second pistol round here off the back of that force. Scout going to be found on VPL, 2 MP9s on ACO and Hobo. Butter and Tysel are going to be sitting pretty on those M4s. We saw how crucial those were in the last round. Of course, Tysel, 2 frags on the initial push, and can't forget that initial nade, which just decimated the health of the T-side attackers. And an early smoke onto red means no one's going to be holding it, but Hobo from Donut does want to try and just secure something here. Just waiting to see if anybody tries to slit by, but it's a fairly passive pistol round so far. Deagle trying to see if he can find a scalp there in red. Doesn't find it quite yet. Butter pre-aiming over towards this cave, and Hobo might be gifted a fight here very shortly. He is, and he finds it. Revival down. Gooch, 14 HP from him, but VPL tagged as well, down to 19. So, again, damage just being traded out across. Butter finds one, doesn't want to get greedy. At the same time, that scout does get found. The 13 HP finally claimed, but Butter comes through with two trades of his own and a hat on his head off of this round so far. Trick gonna get spotted out, and Hobo cleans it up. A full house needed and a full house found between Butter and Hobo, as Astral wins now on a hat trick themselves of rounds. 10 away from the gold, and if they can hold off this first rifle round, they will be even closer to it. But right now, Snaze, they're trying to think, where can we put this op to be most effective? We know how big Trickdale can be in these spots. Almost single-handedly keeping his team in it at one point on Train. At the same time, it's some early aggression from Hobo. He chooses to lead back over into Donut. He's going to spot out these players. It's an AK found. The op close range. He falls as well. And VPL, no slouch to the MP9 either. Bulk finally finds a frag, but getting spammed through the smoke, found through the smoke. And this round evaporates before their eyes. The op and the rifle found close range in Donut, and this push is just falling by the wayside. Mullen Man 8 with it all to do, but 4 scalps to find. It would have to be a 1v4 for his first frags of the game, of the map, I should say. We saw how big he could be holding that B site at the end of Train. Can he replicate anything here with the AK? Right now looks to be a save call. ESEA, though, wanting to probe. They're slowly encroaching on this position. Is he going to be ready for Teisel coming up here from T-Spawn? Spots the head! Can't find the frag, and Teisel puts a 6th in his belt. Him and Hobo coming through to a piece. VPL finding one himself, but Astral wins. That's going to give them their 4th. And now it's a question from Snaze. What do we do? Do we choose to go for another eco? Do we choose to full save it? Looks like it's going to be a Mac 10 call. Mullen Man revival. Trying to get themselves set up here. And it looks like they want to try to take this towards A, so ACO might have his hands full. Hasn't really been needed yet in the match so far. And oh no, the one round he decides to get a little aggressive with it is the round they choose to strike. They're going to be coming in here fast. Hobo, the only player to defend from Donut, finds the first. Can't find a second. The Mag 10s ring out. And Mullen Man loses his life, but what a crucial frag to find in the process. Already, though, all 3 counter-terrorist players are here, and the nade through the smoke opens up VPL's up. Teisel losing a lot of health in the process, though, and Gooch on a hell of a flank. He's ready to try and catch someone off Donut, but they're not aware that none of these players are having to rotate. They are already all here in CT ready to strike, and 2 from Temple. It's going to catch Teisel, or sorry, Trickdell in the side there as Teisel finds him. A smoke onto main, currently locking Bulk out of the round, and Gooch now smoked out himself, so will he be able to spam anything through the smoke? It's going to be a nade to come through, open himself up, a walk through the smoke, not gifted anything from Bulk, and the nade does not allow Gooch to deny a defuse, so he's just forced to save this Mac 10, and the 5-round streak rings out strong here from Astral wins, and a very nice retake from them from a 3v5 to a 3v1. None of those players dying in the retake. And ACO, I mean, you can't really say much there. Decides to try and go early, get some aggression for once. Getting a little bored there on A. And what can you say? The one round he does that, the 5 of them there are to find. Oh, and Gooch, he spots out one, actually a fully blinded player, but not able to do anything off it. I don't believe he knew he was fully blind, so tries to fall off to not give anything away, but does finally land the shot onto the cranium of Hobo Baggins. A big kill to find here at 7-3. But of course, every player on the CT side's a big one to find right now. Gooch continues. A second. Teisel claimed away. ACO does trade it onto Mullen Man. And and we're kicked out, I guess. That's a little unfortunate. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I don't get much say, and when the game decides to kick us out of the play. And we'll pop back in. It was a 4-man attack over towards this A site. It looks like that attack was successful. ACO doesn't fall, but they do find Butter in the meantime. Revival. What is happening? What is going on? It just doesn't want to let me in here. But it looks like Snaze finally going to be within striking distance of their first round. 3 players on the site. VPL the only player to try and hold off against it. And he is opting to save that big scoped gun to try and strike back. And I apologize. I'm going to take a quick intermission just to try and get myself back into the game because it is just continuing to kick me out. So I'm going to try a quick game restart. And we'll see if that will allow us to stay connected because I don't want to keep missing these crucial moments for you guys. But right now, 5-1. Snaze strikes back. They managed to get themselves on the board with a first round, and it is in a critical position. They cannot allow too many rounds to run away early. And we're still waiting to see if the game will open itself back up. Doesn't look like it. Again, apologies. Anybody that is currently watching, we are going to pop to the intermission screen while I try to fix this. I do apologize, as this is a little disheartening. just waiting to get back in. Game taking a minute to launch. So very, very sorry. And hopefully once we get back in, we will be in for the remainder of the match. But it is always heartbreaking when you lose at such a critical, or lose the sight of the match at such a critical moment. And we are hoping to be back in before too many more rounds elapse. Of course, being on a delay, there is a slight delay on when we do learn about these rounds, but we don't want to spoil anything we haven't seen yet on the books. And Counter-Strike just having some issues here getting open. And unfortunately, sometimes this is just the way it goes. Sometimes there are technical issues that just prevent some observing at home, and we, of course, cannot delay the match at all for the players. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pop some music back on for you guys. And the moment we get back in, we will be back into the action. But we're back in it. So I am very sorry, of course, that we missed out on quite a few rounds here. So we missed out on 3, sorry. Astral wins, getting themselves onto 7. Snaze, though, striking through with a second, and already it's a fast hit back over into this Beast site. It's Mullenman finding 2 off the rip, and only 1 defender remaining on this site, but already Hobo rotated into CT. He finds 2 himself. And right now, the scoreline equalized, or at least the players in the round. But off that, Butter, who was the last defender on this site in Cave, tries to rotate back over towards ramp to find something. He's picked away by the big green of Trick. And, of course, we know that Trick wasn't hitting that shot because we jumped away to another player right as that happened. So ESEA, he finds 1. Does he choose to try and fight back in? He's not aware that there's a smoke here on his position from ramp, so no. He's going to choose to try and save this up. And that will be a 3rd on the board for Snaze. ESEA wants to try and hunt and keep this money low. If he can find the op, that would be huge. He finds the op. Can he find anything else? No, but he does. Oh, can't find the op for himself either, so loses his life in the process as well as Gooch claims him. But Snaze up onto 3 on the board. 7-3 scoreline. And again, I'm very sorry to everybody at home for those technical difficulties. I have no clue what happened. Had to restart Steam, restart Faceit. I think it was closing Google Chrome that, fixed it. So if you want to blame anybody, blame the Google Corporation. And where it was a fast B take last time, it looks like this time they want to change it out over towards AACO. He wants to try and take advantage of their lack of aggression into an aggressive hit himself. He loses his life, but does find Bulk in the process. Butter finds Revival over in mid as well. So that's going to set up for a site take. But a site take, a player down, and another player short as Butter through the smoke claims the head off of Trick. Mullen trying to prevent this CT side aggression from Teisel, but unsuccessful at it. And now Teisel, he just wants to push through and try to strike again. Gooch locked into this temple area. He has the bomb on his back, so the opportunity to escape is here, but he does have a player watching him from elbow. Doesn't look like he was ready for it initially, and he isn't ready for it, certainly for the second player coming in from Donut. So an 8th secured here from Astral wins, but it was a good take from Snaze, and this time ACO, when he gets aggressive, he manages to find a frag even with the rest of the team battering in his position. 1 player went mid, 4 went to ACL, and he still comes out of it with a frag, so good on him. The A-Site's loyal defender is able to strike once more into the breach, and talking about once more into the breach, it looks like we are going once more into the B as Revival, an early flash in, that's going to set Mullenman in for yet another just quick play. The long smoke a little delayed and a little bit short as it gives Teisel an opportunity at a 3K. Trick finally able to chime in himself, but he's quickly traded out from Cave, and now it's all on Bulk. Bomb on his back over in the short position. Knows there's a player pushing him, but that doesn't do him much duty when he is already with his back against the wall. So 9 rounds found from Astral wins, 3 from Snaze. And we saw them try to mount a comeback on Train in this very same position. They fought their way back to a very respectable 8 rounds. But if they want any shot at keeping their playoffs journey alive, they will need to find these next 10 with a little bit of room for error. So where will they choose to set up their defenses? One player to be. A very controversial play. 3 players going to be going over towards mid, but this might end up working in their favor as it's a slow B hit. It's Revival here to hold off against it, but now the whole CT side going to be allowed to rotate in. Early frag found from Hobo. A second player, Bulk, found by VPL. They're on the reload, and Trick already dinked down very low, and Butter finally going to claim his food. Oh, Revival manages to peek out, get one, but 2 scalps to find there in the second fight, and Mullen Man once again thrust into the clutch. Oh, and is he just trying to get out of this with armor? It looks like it. 26 HP. Armor to save. And Hobo thinks a little better of just jumping right into his crosshairs, but eventually does take the bait and finds the fish. Astral wins 10-3. 3 rounds away from sniping into their second playoffs round in their first ESEA Open League here in Season 54. And Snaze, they want to try and fight their way back into it, but with only 2 kills on the round, only going to have 2 5-7s to their name to keep themselves in buying contention. And at the same time, these Ts are spread, but these CTs aren't. It's all 5 to the B site. At the same time, the info is going to be coming through. ACO's over here. He's going to start finding some of these players eventually at the same time. Oh, they start to peek out towards Jag. It's an early find there. On to the first player, and Revival does manage to trade out ACO from over in bottom ramp. But that's going to be a clear and early call that this bomb site is open for the taking. And Butter, he has to go back for the bomb. That's the bomb found in spawn. Revival, an absolutely critical frag, and Bulk coming through onto VPL as well. Only 2 more players to find to lock this in, and Hobo tapped even lower, but hits the headshot. At the same time, Mullen Man, he's found through the smoke, trying to broach into mid. And Bulk Lava put into a winnable situation, but a situation where he is going to have to come up big. He has an AK to his name, no armor, so any shots against him might just take him out of the round. 1 fully healthed player and 1 within spitting distance of death. And they're going to have a full clear onto this bomb site, so they got to be aware that he has probably pushed through B main. But he's going to start taking himself over into Donut. It's Hobo over towards Brokey, jumps up into Temple. And Hobo shouldn't be peeking this again. With only 11 HP, he needs to let Tysil come in and try to set something up. And it looks like Bulk, he might be just doing the smart thing. He might just be cutting his losses. Yes, it was strikeable. Yes, it was findable. But with no kit on his back, no armor, and with no way of knowing that Hobo is this close to death, Bulk's just going to have to save. But it's an AK recovered from a round that they had no business even having a chance at winning. So Tysil, the only player to survive. And Astral wins 2 away from the gold. But that AK might just keep Snaze with a fighting chance. It does allow an op to be dropped if wanted. It is not. Well, I won't say it's not wanted. It's not decided. And Bulk decides one of his teammates might be the better option here for this AK, but they're still trying to figure out exactly how they want to split up this buy, and at the same time, it's going to be some early aggression towards B where there's currently nobody. Now, with no early util, I don't know if they choose to try and plan this early. Tysil with 1, Hobo towards another. 2 skulls to find, and Hobo falls. But at the same time, ACO from above will pick off Trickdell. And Snaze, they've given up the full B bomb site, and with it, most likely the round. A 4 versus 2 now necessary. And it's Revival and Bulk who have to be the ones to find it. Revival falls, and Bulk, 1v4 situation, double the players as the last time, and he is looking like he just wants to get out of here with his money, take his ball, and go home and live to play again next round. He doesn't spot that early player, but gets Tysil on the cross, actually. So now, it's all coming down to this. 12-3. 9 rounds needed to give Snaze a chance in overtime. And Astral wins as long as they don't rest on their laurels a little too heavily. They are looking to get a 2-0 sweep to push through into the second round of their first playoffs, which these boys would just be absolutely ecstatic about. And apologies, we're dropping in frame rate a little bit. And the double molly, that is going to do quite a bit of damage here. VPL does fall. Bulk and Gnarly both come through with one apiece. And Gnarly finds Taiso as well on the approach from Shelf, so a 4v2 now finally going in Snaze's direction. But the question has to be asked, will they hold off against Buttermo, against ACO? Butter, a little bit of information. There was a player towards Big Box, but not able to land any damage. Oh, sorry, some chip damage being found out. But now Astral having to decide where exactly they want to lean their efforts. They are so worried about some sort of flank here. But at the same time, Snaze, they are just playing their position. Mullen Man set it up oh so gingerly here on the top box. Tall box, some would call it. Has his player on site ready to spot out if he needs to peek. And nobody going for any sort of flank. Now we do see Trickdell is going to be falling back over towards B just to make sure there's no rotate into an open bomb site. And that's kind of what Astral Winds is hoping for, is that they get a little antsy. They get a little unsure about where this defense needs to go. ACO does have a smoke, a nade, and a flash here. Flash going to come out. Isn't going to do quite enough here onto the waiting player in tall box. And that's going to be Gnarly Gooch and Mullen Man coming through with one apiece to keep their team in it. So we go to fight again here on Ancient. 8 rounds to find. But Snaze a very good setup, and they come out of that with a good bit of weaponry and a good bit of money. And if we look on the other side, we got some broke boys on the T side. So it's going to be a force up, some Mac 10s, some Deagles, a Tech 9, and a 4-man lean over towards this B site, where right now, this is the site to hit. It's only Trickdell, and he has been a demon throughout the match, but Revival, the first to strike, finds the first in bottom mid, turns around and supports it on the Hobo. At the same time, the bomb site secured. Trickdell tagged down to 10 HP, and just trying to hold off any aggression, but it's still a 5 versus 3. This bomb is found, and that's going to be great for these broke players of Astral Winds. Butter finding one. So the player's falling by the wayside, and oh no, it's a 3v3. Tysel has to try and swing out and get one more frag, and he's found from top ramp. Revival on the site, drops a smoke, taps the bomb, and Revival on for the ace. Can he secure it? He can! And Revival comes out and rips his team into a 5th and into a waiting round, where now it's only 7 to find to get back in contention. But it's got to be said, Astral Wins. They get something out of nothing there, and will Snaze's lack of defense over towards this B-bomb site come to bite them? So far, Astral has just really not tried the good old-fashioned rush up towards the B site. But if at once in these next 7 rounds they decide to try their hand at that strategy, this might be a very different story for that solo player. So do they choose to send another over? No. It's still Trickdell. They trust him. They know he can hold his own. And the 3-man lean towards mid is upheld once again. At the same time, a 3-man lean over towards B and Hobo. He's gifted a play over here towards Shelf. Immediately traded out by Gooch. But again, if they pull the trigger on this B site, it's open and waiting. But VPL finds 2. A 2v4 now needed. Trickdell trying to push forward, trying to find something, and he does find one. But once again, Mullen Man 8, 3 skulls to find, and he gets the first. So back to CT, pushing through red. Wants to just try and close the distance as fast as he can, but he has to be mindful of long. It's going to be ACO potentially giving this fight towards him. Mullen Man trying to push up just as that player falls away. It's going to be a game of timing here, ladies and gentlemen, and it doesn't go the way of ACO. So right away, Mullen trying to strike here into the site. He has a smoke. He has a kit. And he wants to try and secure himself a bomb defuse. Baits out this last player! And Mullen Man 8, an absolutely phantasmagorical clutch in a 1v3 with their backs against the wall. And the Mullen Man is the Mullen Machine to pull Snaze into a 6th. Astral wins. They're going to be kicking themselves at that one. And yeah, they take a timeout off of it. Oh my goodness. Snaze was looking done and dusted, and Mullen, man, you gotta imagine the vibes are just immaculate in that server right now. Because he is absolutely... He has been thrust into that position so many times throughout this match. And finally, he shows why maybe you shouldn't be putting him the one in that spot. So, oh my goodness. It will be Astral wins, almost on max loss. And they're going to choose, again, not to rest on their laurels. They will, of course, just buy up some pistols, 4 Deagles and a Tech 9. And with 2 smokes, 2 flashes, and a molly, do they finally choose to pull the ripcord on a full B rush? No. Once again, it's just going to be the split, 3 towards mid. Now, the advantage of this is it is going to allow a fast rotate back over if they do pull the ripcord on this A hit, which looks like it might be coming out. Mullenman's nade, not going to be allowed to find much. And the flash, oh, sorry, the smoke comes over to block off elbow. So this should pull back these players from mid. Mullenman, will his molly buy anything? Yes, it buys him some time, buys him a frag, and gets Hobo down to 30 HP. But will that be enough? It doesn't look like it. And at the same time, VPL finds an additional frag in the site. Trick, the op, rings out, does find one. Gooch gonna be pushing through. And now it's just ACO, the last man in the push, the last man in the play. And we miss almost every shot in this round. But will we miss ACO's attempt at his own 1v3? It's only a Deagle. Dare I say it would have to be more impressive than the clutch we just saw, but it's off to a first shot. They keep themselves in it with a clutch. Will they lose it the exact same way? In an equal number position, no less. ACO, he finds it! It's a 1v3! From an absolutely losing position! And the Deagle comes out to get him the win, get Astral wins a 2-0 win, and push them through to the playoffs. So it's gotta be said, when they see something that Snaze does well, they say, hey, is there a way we can do this just a little better? And this time it pays off in spades. So great job to both competitors, but of course, congratulations to Astral wins, who will be pushing their way through to the next round of playoffs. Thank you to Snaze CS. Thank you to the community for coming out to rally around these guys, because they put off a hell of a performance. But, you know, the thing about playing Counter-Strike is sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And we will certainly be seeing more from Snaze, because they have some phenomenal competitors on their end. My name, as always, has been Austin, Osto, Osty, whatever you want to call me. So thank you so much for coming out, supporting these players, supporting NA Counter-Strike, and I will see you guys all in the next one.